television highlights of the news of yesteryear. It's summer 1939, and French troops in training do double time through woods surrounding their fabulous and impregnable Maginot Line. Shades of First World War seem flimsy as troops approach concrete fortifications of Maginot Line itself. Here on surface, structure looks formidable enough to withstand violent attack. But there's more to this massive battler than meets the eye. This is 325 feet below the war-weary soil of France. This is fence that invaders cannot cross or burrow under. Equipped with complete subway system all its own, Line can transport troops for scores of miles safely, quickly, surely. Completely air-conditioned, generating its own light and heat, the Line can be comfortable home for its troops indefinitely. Across the Rhine, Adolf Hitler is spoiling for war. But here at Central Fire Control are men who will spoil Nazi hopes of fighting on the soil of France. These will wreck tanks of the German Panzer divisions. These will keep war out of peaceful France. These deadly cannon will lob destruction onto any enemy within gun range. And gun crews will work in the safety of their underground castle of sturdy concrete. Yes, this is the summer of 1939, and all the world was proud of the perfection and preparedness of French defense. But the world will never forget what happened. The line was not strong enough. Nazi invaders skirted it. France fell, and the Maginot Line fell without firing an official shot.
It's 1923, and Breitbart, Europe's newest and most highly touted strongman, shows that iron bars don't always make a cage. With a little help, a few grunts from Breitbart, they make a pretty pretzel. A chain is as strong as its weakest link, the saying goes, but Breitbart's teeth get into the act, and even the strongest links in the chain can be broken. The house that Breitbart builds doesn't need the aid of a carpenter or even a carpenter's hammer. With his bare hands, this strong man drives nails into 3 thicknesses of wood. Well, this is one way of being sure you'll miss your thumb. Strongman Breitbart becomes the sole support of a motordrome without putting a penny into the venture, too. All he puts into it is his massive strength. Round and round those motorcycles go, and just how long Breitbart can stand it, only Breitbart knows. But where would those 2 cyclists be if Breitbart decided this was something he wanted to get off his chest? Anybody can lie down on a bed of nails, anybody who happens to be that much in need of rest, that is. But this man who bends iron bars, chews chains, and drives nails with his bare hands falls asleep by counting the men and horses who walk over him. Ah, but those horses aren't as heavy as they look. And come to think of it, this is only a baby elephant. But believe me, this is no little bull. But after a few minutes of this, Breitbart tells the bull where to get off.
Here's William O. Douglas. It's 1939, and at 40 years of age, Douglas is youngest man ever to be appointed to bench of United States Supreme Court. He's Justice Douglas now, as he poses with Mrs. Douglas, daughter Mildred, and son William Jr. Yes, at 40, this Minnesotan has a high honor and job that will last a lifetime.
Here's Colonel Billy Mitchell in the middle 1920s with Mrs. Mitchell and their infant Billy Jr. Billy's just about to appear before court-martial for his statement that air power is imperative for future wars. Billy was proved guilty and kicked out of Army, but future wars prove that Billy was right.
It's 11th of July, 1928, and here's John J. Raskob as he's made chairman of National Committee of Democrats. When these films were made, Raskob still had 22 years of philanthropy, business, and public service ahead of him. John Raskob, interesting and important American. It's 1922, and maybe you'll remember the circus didn't get to your town on schedule that year. Well, here's the reason why. Big Blaze in winter home of circus is Bridgeport, Connecticut's biggest fire in years. Lives of hundreds of animals are endangered, and almost all of circus equipment is either destroyed or badly damaged by fire, smoke, and millions of gallons of water poured on the flames in vain effort to quell the conflagration. Day after disaster, circus wagons are charred, and interior of Big Show's winter home is field of rubble.
In campaign to free themselves from women, these Norristown, Pennsylvania schoolboys learn how to handle the hole in that sock, darn it. This lad looks a lot better than So-So with needle and thread. And this fellow can really make his singer sing. This lad is his mother's helper. And if this torn youth sits down on the job, here's hoping this male seamstress doesn't leave his needle where he shouldn't.
It's 1942, and appearing at Washington Naval Base with President and Mrs. Franklin Roosevelt, Queen Wilhelmina of the Netherlands sees Subchaser named in her honor and given to her nation in its brave but almost lost battle against the Nazis. Ruler in exile, Queen Wilhelmina is guiding the destiny of the war-ravaged homeland as best she can, and things such as this mean new hope of eventual freedom for Hollanders caught under the Nazi heel. Ship is outright gift of the United States to the proud Queen's government in exile, and was quickly put to use by Navy of the Netherlands, who fought Germany till victory was won. It's the middle 1920s, and the then governor of Connecticut, John H. Trumbull, sits in glider at New Jersey's Newark Airport for trial flight of engineless aircraft. But there's near tragedy ahead. The glider is off and up, but comes zooming down from height of 25 feet, nearly nosing over, as Governor Trumbull sticks coolly to the controls. Shaken badly, he's only slightly hurt.
An original Miss America. At Glacier National Park in the early 1920s, here's lovely Princess Jessie Jim of the Blackfeet Tribe, chosen by her people as most beautiful Indian girl in America. And she'll go from here to Atlantic City to compete for the title of Miss America, along with more recent beauties to inhabit her land. Kin of the princess make big medicine to aid her in her adventure by big waters of the Atlantic. Maybe Columbus discovered Princess Jessie Jim's happy hunting ground, but it took a real eye for beauty to discover the likes and looks of Princess Jessie Jim.
1925. And at Penn Relays in Philadelphia, who's taking early lead in 2-mile race but Paavo Nurmi of Finland, one of greatest distance runners world has ever seen. Rounding a turn near finish of race, there's nobody near Nurmi as the flying Finn comes to the wire, a lonely runner, but a winning one. His time, 9 minutes 15 seconds, is a new American record. Here's the ever popular and ever fast 100-yard dash. On right, you'll see the hard-driving style of the eventual winner. He's George Simpson of Ohio. His 9.6 ties world's record. Doing push-ups a la Paul Bunyan, here are nation's best collegiate pole vaulters. Here's Yale's entry in this high-soaring event, and he sails over with perfect ease. Sturdy of Yale, pole vault king at Penn Relays. And sturdy but unsteady because of a badly strained back, here's Mrs. Helen Wills Moody, wearing familiar white visor. It's 1931, and with 6 national tennis crowns to her credit, Mrs. Moody is after number 7, as she plays Mrs. Bartosh, woman doctor from California. Back on the Forrest Hills courts after 2-year retirement, Mrs. Moody is additionally handicapped by injured back, but there's nothing wrong with her tennis. Point for Helen. Crowd is for Helen, too, as match nears end. Dr. Bartosh is hitting them hard, but Mrs. Moody volleys them back just as hard. Not able to try for the hard shots, Helen makes the doctor hit them where it's easy, and Helen walks off a winner 7 times.